this sin makes our souls lifeless. So our soul becomes just dead, like you were just talking about, just become a zombie, and then just living a mediocre life.
In ancient times, laziness was known as the midday devil. The church fathers actually saw sloth as being so busy that you do not do what is important.
Also, dividing really big tasks, really big projects that we've got going on, and just break it down into smaller pieces, so that then you can start tackling those smaller pieces little by little and be able to resolve them with no problem. There's a phrase that says, the only way to eat an elephant is by cutting it up into small pieces and eating it little by little, right?
Poor elephant.
Poor elephant.
Cutting it up. Yeah.
No elephants were harmed in the making of this video.
Yes. Hey, welcome back to a Short Journey podcast. My name is Antonio Herrera.
My name is Edwin Vasquez.
And today we're going to continue our 7-episode series on the 7 deadly sins, the 7 capital sins. Today we're going to focus on
sloth.
And why sloth? Why is it the 4th one? So you remember, if you had been watching the past videos, if you haven't, please go watch them. But the first 3 sins are considered to be the cold sins. Mm-hmm. And then this sin is the 4th one, which is in the middle of all 7. So the next 3 sins are going to be the warm sins. Mm-hmm. So why is sloth in the middle? Because we'll go over that in a little bit more detail in this video. But don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you can receive the notifications. And you can also leave us a comment. Let us know, what do you think about these videos? Which one is which capital sin are we going to be talking about next? Which are the 3 next ones, the 3 warm sins, if you know. And don't forget to share this so we can make more videos and reach more people. Mm-hmm. And let us know, yes, what do you want to hear from us? All right, so why is it the 4th capital sin? Because this is the warm sin, the one that's in between both of them. The lukewarm sin, the one that is neither on the cold, neither on the hot. Mm-hmm. And the way that sloth is that I just don't really care to act or not act. You could do whatever you want. I don't care. It doesn't bother me. Mm-hmm. I'm neither good nor bad. And we'll go over that into more detail.
Yeah.
So what is a capital sin? The capital sin, if you have not watched the past videos, the capital sin comes from Latin, which means head. And from the head comes and extends all the extremities, all the members of the body. Mm-hmm. And therefore, from this capital sin derive so many other sins, right? And we'll go over some of those too. And what is sloth?
What is sloth? So sloth comes from the Greek word acedia, the A meaning without, and cedia meaning care. So living a life without care, essentially. St. Thomas Aquinas defined sloth as an aimless tendency to wander. So kind of like a zombie. They're just wandering around, like dead, but they're just walking around. It's essentially kind of like that. We're just living a life without any goals, anywhere to go. So it's also the inability to care about just everyday routine of life. So we just don't even care about life. We just live in, you could almost say like just day by day and whatever. And even ignoring the basic demands of human existence. And this sin makes our souls lifeless. So our soul becomes just dead, like you were just talking about, just become a zombie, and then just living a mediocre life, just a so-so life, right? Which is whatever. That's sloth, and it's interesting because I actually used to only look at this as sloth as physical laziness, but it goes above that, goes far that beyond that. So, and we'll go a little bit over about that in a second too. But we're going to talk a little bit about the examples of sloth in the Bible. And there's so many examples. We had to just like choose a couple because if not, this video would be about an hour long. So the first example that I have here is found in Proverbs chapter 10, verse 4. And it says, the slack hand impoverishes, but the hand of the diligent enriches. The hand that's slacking doesn't produce anything, but the hand that's diligent, the one that's working, will give you something, will produce something.
Right. And there's also another example. St. Paul hits us hard with his letters here in Second Thessalonians chapter 3, verse. You could start at verse 6 and continue on. We're going to focus on verse 10. It says, he who will not work, let him not eat either. So if we do not work, we do not produce, we do not sow, we will not reap. And
You won't eat.
yeah, you will not eat. So you have to be productive in the process, so that way we can benefit from the benefits, from the outcome.
Yeah, enjoy the benefits of your work. Another example is Proverbs chapter 13, verse 4. It says, the soul of the sluggard craves in vain, but a diligent soul is amply satisfied. So if you are diligent, if your soul is growing, then you will be satisfied. Your soul is going to grow. That's both physically and spiritually as well. So we're going to grow if we put our work into it.
Yes. And then in Revelation chapter 3, verse 16, it says, therefore, since you are neither cold or hot, but lukewarm, I am about to vomit you out of my mouth. So that is tough words. Those who are lukewarm, imagine what's expected out of them. So we have to be either cold or hot. It's either a yes or a yes, because if you say no, you're really saying yes to somebody else, right? Other than God. So it's a definite yes or a no, right? So we have to be decided. We have to be sure. We have to stay firm in our yes, because if not, we go into the lukewarmness.
Yeah.
And all the lukewarmness are basically cold.
Yeah.
Right. So, and to add a little bit of more of definition of sloth, in ancient times, laziness was known as the midday devil. You know, you said we do tend to think of sloth as a physical laziness, right? Well, that only started, or that was very more common from the 1500s on out after the Reformation. But before that, the church fathers actually saw sloth as being so busy that you do not do what is important.
Yeah.
So you focus on doing this and doing that you do not do what is priority, right? So we put aside the very important things to the end, right?
Yeah.
So, and during the penitential prayer in Mass, we also say, forgive me for I have sinned through my thoughts, in my words, in what I have done, and what I have failed to do. So that right there, what I have failed to do, it's good that you could have done, but you decided not to. Good that you could have done, but you were like, nah, maybe I shouldn't do it. Let somebody else do it. So that is also a sin. Being bystanders of something that is happening and not wanting to participate, not wanting to take that responsibility, right? So those who live in sloth do not take action and fear responsibility, fear being in charge of something, having something to be responsible of, right? And if we look at Newton's first law of motion, we're going into science a little bit. An object in motion tends to stay in motion, right? And a object who is at rest tends to stay at rest. So that law also applies to humans. If we stay in motion, we will continue to stay in motion.
Yeah.
And if we stay in rest or in sloth, we will continue to be in sloth.
Yeah. Unless acted upon by external force.
Yeah. So you will never get to the end if you do not start. And those who live in sloth never start.
Never start. Yeah. There's questions that we can ask ourselves to identify whether or not sloth lives in my life. And here I have a few that I've written down. Am I feeling slothful? Am I feeling laziness in looking for the word of God? Am I just not interested at all in listening to what God has to say to me? And do I care at all about going to mass? That's a really big one. I mean, that's a grave sin. Like if you just don't care about going to mass, we got to check that out, because that it's a very important. We have to be present. We have to go to God. It's only an hour. I mean, a little bit over an hour for some, depending on how good it gets.
You gotta remember to keep the Lord's Day holy.
Exactly. I mean, it's one of the commandments. I mean, come on. And so, and I know we can sometimes be so busy with life. Maybe the day before we were busy, we were partying, we were working. Maybe we had the night shift. Whatever. Life, presents us a lot of situations. But then when it's time to go to mass, I choose not to because I'm tired. Give that tiredness to God and say, Lord, thank you for giving me a job. Thank you for giving me my family. Thank you for whatever. But I give to you my tiredness. Take it. I'm giving this in honor of you. There's different ways to do that. Or also, am I falling asleep or am I getting distracted when I'm in prayer? And I'm a little guilty of that. I have to admit it. Sometimes I have found myself, nodding off when I'm praying, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. A lot of times it depends on the situation where we're at, how we choosing to pray. Maybe I'm already laying down, cuddled up in bed, with my blanket over me and just trying to pray. And in that moment, you're just nodding off. So we just have to be careful of how we're doing that and how we're praying to God, because these are really important moments. These are moments that we get to spend with God, one-on-one, and, talk to God. And so we have to be careful on how we're spending our time with God. Are we being lazy with the time that we spend with God, basically? Am I lazy? Do I feel laziness to go to a spiritual retreat? I've worked all week and they're telling me to go to this retreat where I know I'm probably going to wake up super early. I know I'm going to go to sleep super late. I'd rather do it next time, or I'll do it some other time. So that's also very dangerous, because these are moments. This could be God calling you to come and meet him and feel his presence, but you chose to not go because you wanted to sleep a couple hours more. So that's pretty dangerous.
Yeah, so there is a physical laziness and also a spiritual laziness, or physical sloth, spiritual sloth. And we have to be careful with both of them, right? And so I would ask a question: do you like to rest? Or we know it as chill. Chill. Do you like to chill? Sit back and chill. And do we do that too often? Because it's not bad to rest. It's not bad to take a day off, but do we do it constantly? Do we want to do it all the time? And even on a rest day, there's also plenty of things to do, things to get done to be productive, even on a rest day, right? Another question, very important question, is: are we practicing, or are we growing in our vocation? Are we discerning our vocation? This is very important, because if you do not discern your vocation, then you are not being as productive as you should be, because you're not answering to God's call. God's call is either one of three. You either are discerning to the vocation of sacramental orders. Are you going to be a priest? Are you going to be a religious sister? Or are you going to get married? Are you discerning marriage? Are you discerning if dating is for you? And dating has to be with the end goal of marriage, right? And are you going to live a single holy life? So holy singleness, not a disordered single life where you don't have an end, you don't have a goal to serve the church, to serve the community. So out of those three vocations, out of one of those three is how we live our plan according to God, according to God's will, right? So we have to act on this vocation. It is very necessary. And the devil does not want you to do this, because you're not going to be productive or as productive until you find your mission here on earth, until you find your vocation. And then even when you find it, he's going to try to, tempt you with sloth either way, right? But we have to persist. And vacation is not a vocation. So a lot of times we like to think, no, well, look, I'm in my 20s. I'm gonna go I'm gonna live, visit, and vacate, do vacation here, do vacation there, visit the world, and we leave our vocation to the end. That is very, very scary, because we have to serve the church, and we have to persist in our vocation. Find your vocation above all else. This is where we will serve the church and live out our mission here on earth. Are we always late to meetings? Are we clean? Are we organized? How clean is our room? How clean is the space where we live in? Do we react in the moment whenever something is needed, whenever something is necessary, or we have to open the door for somebody? We have to act now, and we're not used to it, and we kind of like push it off to the end.
Yeah.
So how quick is our reaction time? If not, it could be sloth, because I decide not to help. I decide not to act. Let other people do it. Why should I do it? Everything's going to continue to be the same. If I do this, it's not going to change anything. If I say that, nothing is going to change. Why should I clean up if it's just going to get dirty again? Why should I clean up if I didn't drop it? So, it's not mine. Everybody's at fault except for me. No, I don't hurt anybody. I don't kill anybody. So I'm not good nor bad. I don't do a lot of good things, but I definitely don't do a lot of bad things. So I'm kind of here in the middle. That middle does not exist, because you remember we talked about that lukewarmness and what happens to the lukewarm.
You spit out.
Yes. So we also have sins that come out of sloth. And what are some of those examples?
There's so many, and we had to choose a few because, again, this could be an hour-long video, but we're going to just quickly go down a few. The fact that we sometimes want things done now and we want them already done. A lot of us are caught into that mentality, the microwave mentality, where why the microwave mentality? Because if obviously if you think of a microwave, you just pop food in there and a minute or two and it's done. And so that's how we live life. We want things done now. We want it done easy. We want it where we don't have to struggle at all. And then we start pushing that onto our kids. Start pushing that onto like the younger generation, where they start seeing that as something that's okay. And then it just keeps going on and keeps going on, keeps going on. So let's nip that in the butt. Inconsistency. So I start maybe projects, I start doing chores, but I don't finish them. Maybe I have like something that I had to do, be it at work, be it at home, be it in with my wife. Like maybe she told me to take out the trash, and then I was going to do it later, and it never happened. And then she's like, why didn't you take out the trash? So then, a whole other ordeal comes out of that.
Yeah.
Right? So this is something it's our obligation to do sometimes at home, in our family, at work, but we choose not to. It's like someone else is going to take care of it. Why am I going to do it? Someone will come around and do it. So we got to be careful with that. Also, boredom. Boredom. Just thinking that you're bored. That could be a very vicious cycle, because sloth kind of brings about boredom, and then boredom brings around more sloth, and then it just keeps going on and on and on and on, and it becomes like a little hamster wheel. We're just going in circles and we're going nowhere. So like there's a Catholic podcaster that he was talking about, like people say that they're bored. You, sir, are boring, and it was so funny how he said it. But it's really ourselves, like let's not go there. Let's find ways to become active, to be interested in things in life, because that is how we can come out of that. Also, the fact that we sometimes don't want to learn how to overcome difficulties in life. Maybe we don't even want to, we just want to live life day by day. We don't even want things to come at us. We don't want to struggle even a tiny bit. We're trying to avoid obstacles. We're trying to avoid all of that because I'm just lazy. I don't want to deal with any of that. So that is another sin. Just living life day by day and not wanting to struggle. I've met a few people that tell me that they don't want to have a family, that they don't want to get married because the first thing they think about is that the struggle, that marriage is hard, or no, but kids are like very like disturbing. They don't let me do whatever. That is far from the truth. Maybe it is a little challenging, but God is teaching us through this amazing what is it like
Gift.
the gift of matrimony, of life, of having kids. We learn so much through them, and we have to embrace that. Don't ignore that, because God is calling you to that vocation. He could be calling you to that vocation. We just have to discern it, and it's so beautiful.
Again, is that fear of responsibility.
Yeah.
And we are called to responsibility. We cannot live irresponsible lives. I mean, in our life, we have to grow up and be responsible for our actions. And one of those things is to search our vocation and then live out accordingly to our vocation. So, yes, get married. It takes time, but be responsible.
Yeah.
Take charge. Take that discipline to grow, and that we're all called to grow.
Yeah.
So we cannot stay in the comfort of our 16-year-old life where we have no bills, no needs, everything is paid for,
No obligations.
no obligations. Yes, so
Yeah.
we are called to be responsible, to obligations, to duties.
Yeah.
So we are called to that.
Exactly. Also, the fact that we don't want to grow spiritually. I'll do it later. I'll do it tomorrow. There's that phrase that says, "Don't leave for tomorrow what you can do today." So we have to battle that. There's this meme that I saw that it said, "Procrastinators unite tomorrow," and we live like that. We live life like that, where it was like, we'll do this tomorrow, and then tomorrow comes around, we'll do it tomorrow, and it just keeps going.
Tomorrow's eternal.
Tomorrow's eternal, exactly. And I was listening to Father Mike Schmitz. He was talking about how his mom, she had a lot of Catholic books, and then she would say, I'm going to read them later, and sometimes we can find ourselves in that kind of cycle where maybe we have books that we're going to read, spiritual books that can be very beneficial for us, for our soul, for our life. But we say, I'll read it later. I'll do it later. And a day can come when, God calls you to his presence and you never read the books. Like, that's it's pretty dangerous. Also, the fact that we're denying God. We deny God in our lives. That is, I can't, there's no word to describe that. It's sad that we deny God. Laziness, sloth can take us to that. And we also deny the spiritual benefits, the spiritual blessings that come from having God in our lives. Because sometimes we'll notice that, if I accept God in my life, that means that now I have to struggle, or that means that now I'm going to be a little uncomfortable, and I don't want to do that. So let me just stay with the life that I've got right now. I'm fine. I don't know. That's
choosing ignorance. Einstein says that ignorance is a personal decision in a world full of information. So we have so much information, and we choose to not learn because we're good this way. Yeah. We're good with our mediocre life. The way I'm living is perfect. Look, I'm just so comfortable not knowing about God. So why should I know about him? Well, this is the truth. Yeah. So we should search for the truth, and the truth will find you. Yeah. So look at St. Augustine. All right. So there's plenty of sins that come from sloth. One of them is that the sin of sloth prohibits you to use these 3 T's in the service of others. What are the 3 T's? So your time, your talent, and your treasure. And the sin of sloth keeps these 3 T's for yourself and does not let you serve others with this. Right? So you should offer the church and others your time, your talent, and your treasure. So we mentioned procrastination, leaving everything for tomorrow when it was due yesterday. Tardiness. Are we always late to our events, to mass, to every reunion, everywhere? Hey, I'll be there in 5 minutes. And it's like 2 hours later. So, are we up to date with the group chats that we're in? Hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it, and the meeting was like 2 hours ago. Like, why
Yeah.
couldn't you be, punctual?
Yeah.
And say, hey, I'm not gonna be able to make
Yeah.
it.
Be responsible,
Be
yeah.
responsible. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, irresponsibility would also be the sin that comes out of sloth. Not wanting to take discipline, discouragement. So now you're all discouraged because sloth kicks in and it kind of like relaxes you. It's like, man, I just don't want to do anything. Now you're contagion, or that's contaminating other people around you, your friends, your family. Now everybody's like that. Look, man, let's just not do anything, and then everybody's just like so relaxed and so chill, and everybody's non-productive, right? So negligence, carelessness, laziness, disinterest, disorder, selfishness, it leads you to focus only on, hey, my time is me time. So I'm gonna do whatever I want. I don't care about others' needs.
Yeah.
I need to do this. The grass, yes, the grass can wait. It's about 2 foot high. It can wait. But this is my time. I'm relaxing, right? So there's so much sins that come from this capital sin. I imagine this sloth is kind of like the jack of all trades that we, like you had mentioned. We start this, we start that, we start this, we start that, and we're masters of none because we start so many projects and never finish any.
Yeah.
So the jack of all trades, master of none. That's sloth.
Man.
How do we combat sloth? How do we go against this?
Be diligent. That's one of the simplest ways to see it, to explain it is be diligent. Let's be diligent in the things that we do, the things that we don't do, so that we can be organized. That's another one. Like, be organized. So once we're organized and we're diligent with the things that we have to do, our tasks, our obligations at home, at work, all of that, it'll all become come into play. If we have like a schedule to like time to do this, time to do that, time to do that, then you can, make things happen and not say, I'll leave it for tomorrow. I'll leave it for tomorrow. The Bible tells us that there's a time for everything. So there's a time for everything in our lives. We just have to know how to structure it, how to be diligent in the things that we are supposed to be doing and do them even if we don't want to do them. Also, maybe abstaining from distractions, having like a moment of abstinence from whatever, you blank, you fill in the blank. Be it social media, be it movies, be it video games, whatever. Maybe abstain from that for a little bit. Maybe a weekend, maybe a day or two, maybe a few hours if a day or two is too much for you. Let's say to tomorrow at 5 o'clock, from 5 to 8, no technology, for example. That's just a quick example. And then little by little, like replace that with something else. And then that's how you can fight that. Also, dividing really big tasks, really big projects that we've got going on, and just break it down into smaller pieces, so that then you can start tackling those smaller pieces little by little and be able to resolve them with no problem. There's a phrase that says the only way to eat an elephant is by cutting it up into small pieces and eating it little by little, right? And so that's like let's say like the elephants in our lives. Like, let's cut them up and see how we can divide it up. Let's say I have a goal for like a month. Let's say I'm trying to get fit in a certain amount of time. Let's say a month. I have I want to lose this amount of weight.
Well, that's gonna be tough.
Yeah, that'll be tough, but it can be done. And then let's say that you look at that whole month. Don't look at the month. Look at maybe by weeks. Week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. And then you can do that, and even go granular than that, and then go day by day by day. And then you'll be able to overcome big things by looking at it, the small things first.
Poor elephant.
Poor elephant.
Cutting it up. Yeah.
No elephants were harmed in the making of this video.
Yes. I would also say a good habit and a good virtue is to wake up on time. Wake up early.
Yeah.
The early bird catches the worm.
Yeah.
So that is a discipline that does affect the rest of your day. So if you slouch all the way to 12 o'clock at noon, your day is going to be the same thing. Slouch, because you only have about maybe 7 hours, 8 hours of daylight.
Yeah.
So no, the more daylight that you have, the better it is, the more productive you are. So I would recommend that. Wake up early.
Yeah.
And like you said, diligence, clean your room. Make sure you clean your room. And if you have nothing to do and you're bored, reorganize your room.
Yeah.
Move it around. Move to bed that way. So do something, and that
active.
productivity is going to help you keep going and keep going.
Yeah.
It also motivates you to do more and more.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
It makes you be more creative, right?
Yeah.
So
You start evolving that. You know,
Yeah.
you start getting more ideas. Oh, I could do this that way. I could do this that way. I could do this that way.
and that's like you said, it starts by little.
Yeah.
So we also have examples of saints who have fought off laziness or fought off sloth. So I have an example of Saint John Bosco with the phrase that he recalls that some fathers of the church previously expressed: laziness is the mother of all vices, because this, with the weakening of attention that it causes, opens the door to other vices and oppresses us. So through the sloth comes in so many other vices, because we don't have the due diligence or the responsibility, the discipline to act and to change, to leave this mediocre life, to leave this comfortableness of our comfort zone, and expose ourselves to new ideas and a change of a new day, something different, something better. So let's act.
Yeah. Let's act now. A couple more examples that I have here is, one of them is Saint Francis of Assisi. They have attributed this phrase to him. He says, "Start by doing what's necessary, then do what's possible, and suddenly you're doing the impossible." Again, that kind of goes back to what I was talking about, like, little by little. Start with the most basic, the most smallest, and then it'll start going big from there. Also, Mother Teresa of Calcutta, she says, to keep a lamp burning, we have to keep putting oil in it. So if you want your life to keep burning, if you want your lamp to keep burning, make sure to put oil in it. Be diligent and add that oil to your lamp.
Yes. So remember, there is a possibility to fight off laziness, to fight off sloth in our lives. And that is to put this into practice, due diligence.
Yeah.
And we also have a prayer that we will do that could help us fight off sloth. So we'll do the prayer.
Yeah, so we ask you guys to join us in this moment of prayer. This is a prayer from Saint Ephraim the Syrian, and it says, "O Lord and Master of my life, take from me the spirit of sloth, faint-heartedness, lust of power, and idle talk. But give rather the spirit of chastity, humility, patience, and love to me, your servant. Yes, Lord and King, grant me to see my own errors and not to judge my brother, for thou art blessed unto ages of ages. Amen."
Amen.
So yeah, guys, that was Sloth in a video. So please remember to leave a comment. Let us know what you think, what you've seen so far on these videos, on this this series of 7 episodes. Let us know what your thoughts are. We want to be able to communicate with you guys. We want to talk to you, see what you think. If there's anything that was unclear, please let us know. Or if there's something that really stood out to you, go ahead and add in. What was your most favorite part? Add it in the comments. Also, like the video. That way it helps with the YouTube algorithm, and, it gets, sent out to more people. Subscribe to the channel. That way we know, there's people out there that are actually, viewing our content. And hit that notification bell so that we can, let you know. Once we have a video, you'll see it. You'll receive it in your notifications area, and you'll see it. You'll be one of the first ones to view our videos. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for being with us. We enjoy this. We hope you are enjoying it as much as we do. And other than that, that's it from our part. Remember, life is a short journey. Let's battle against our sins, but you choose one day or day one.
Yeah. And I think sloth makes you think that the journey is going to be very long, and it's going to be so relaxing, and it's just never going to end. But remember, life is a short journey. So remember to offer up those 3 T's in the service of others: your time, your talent, and your treasure. Offer it up for others. Offer it up to God.
Amen.
So see you next time.
Next one.
Pax
Pax
bonum.